Urine is a bodily fluid that is naturally excreted from the body. Since it's not something you pay much attention to, other than when doing your business, you probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about urine. Here we profile 10 facts about urination and look into how it's been viewed in the past, present, and future. It's interesting to discover what makes this bodily liquid so special. 10. The main ingredient in urine is used to flavor cigarettes. You might not want to smoke cigarettes due to a list of numerous possible negatives. One of the most notable is that it's highly addictive and can have negative effects on your health, in addition to giving you bad breath and yellow teeth. Urea, which is an organic compound found in urine, is commonly added to food and drinks. These compounds enhance the flavors of cigarettes. They may not be using it for this, but if they did know beforehand, don't worry. It's not illegal. Urea is a compound used in cigarettes to help break down nicotine and create the so-called high found in cigarettes. It is also synthetically created and can be made out of any number of things, usually coal, wood, natural gas, humans. It's always great to know that something actually comes from human blood. Urea is the most popular compound the body secretes, allowing it to be involved in both nitrogen excretion and in natural fertilizing. Urea can also be used for many different things due to its versatility, such as in animal feed or in plastics. Although this practice of inhaling urine was dangerous, the next time you light that cigarette, stop to think that it has been soaked in harmful substances. 9. Swim in the sea or swim in the pee. There's a lot of myths floating around about the benefits of swimming in the pool, and it really depends on who you ask. Some people say that water can clean the urine, and other people say that their pool is too salty to drink. Urinating in pools is an urban legend that is pretty common with most people. You will likely not turn red, but you might end up with a slight headache. According to a study, 20% of people who use pools admit to doing it at least once. Swimming pool chemicals can be a little off-putting. Chlorine and sweat particles encounter each other underwater, giving off a distinctive smell. It's actually a mixture of sweat and chemicals from near the pool, adding to the pool scent. The risk of contracting diseases that are harmful to humans is so minimal, so sometimes it's worth taking life-threatening risks in order to avoid them. 8. Urine was once thought to be sterile. Some may find it hard to believe that urine is considered sterile, but many health nuts swear by it, and even drink it regularly. It can help detoxify your system for a more beautiful you. According to some statistics, doctors more or less used to believe that because their patient's urine was usually sterile, they could easily diagnose them with urinary tract-related issues by looking for many cells of different types in the urine. However, new research has shown that there are actually cells present in most urine. Continuing to find ways to screen for UTI is incredibly important, since they are often easily missed. An expansion of quantitative urine culture tech has found a potential new method for detection and identification, which means doctors easier and quicker. I made a joke about people who drink their own urine for health benefits. 7. Urinating kills 225 Canadian men each year. Many people die while urinating, even if it is fairly rare. This statistic is disproportionately high in Canada and other countries because of the size of land that is inhabited by the country, which can lead to more accidents. Many different people within the community are born or grow up around water. They also spend a lot of time outdoors, whether it's boating, swimming, or fishing. But many recreational activities can lead to dangerous situations if urinating in the wrong place. Not only does this practice cause a lot of trauma and stress on the fish, but it also causes a lot of accidental deaths on boats each year. Alcohol, carelessness, and inexperience are common causes. It is an alarming problem that there even exists a web page specifically for men to take care of this concern. If you're going to be drinking coffee while fishing, make sure to have a bucket with you. As always, stay safe out there. 6. Rats use urine to mark food as edible. Rats can be found all over the globe and use their urine for many different purposes, from marking territory to attracting a mate and leaving a personal ad. They also use it to mark food. This is especially true for rats that have a massive variety of food. Rats lack the ability to vomit, so they really have to be careful with what they eat. One way to do this is by urinating on or near food that may be poisonous if ingested. Gray rats use a pheromone to signal when they've eaten food, and it's safe for the other grunts to eat. As the younger grunts get older, their interest in the pheromone wanes. At this point, it may seem pretty gross, but it's better than nothing. 5. Urine can be used to whiten teeth. Bright white teeth seem to be an inalienable part of men and women in the public eye, but you might be surprised at how there are less expensive ways to maintain healthy eating habits. You can use your urine instead of bleach if you prefer. Urea is a byproduct of urine, and when broken down in the body it becomes ammonia, which is found in many cleaning products, but also useful for human wastes. When distilled and bottled, urea has an extremely high ammonia content. You probably know its easy-to-spot smell. Urine was most famously used as a tooth whitener by the ancient Romans, but people still use this method today. If you decide to go with this rustic, cheap alternative, just remember that teeth discoloration is likely. 4. Using urine to fuel your car in the future. Urine could revolutionize the way we fuel our cars and source renewable energies in the future. It is listed for a lot of other uses, like cleaning up oil spills and even taking care of aquatic species, such as fish, turtles, and lobsters. This invention was brought to us by an Ohio scientist who is building a device that uses less than 50% of the energy needed to run an AAA battery. This device could be used to power airplanes and cars in the future. Hydrogen has been used as a renewable energy source in the past, but it required an excessive amount of energy to produce. However, recent advancements have made hydropower production possible by using less power. There are now hydrogen generators that can be powered by just 0.37 volts of electricity. The hydrogen bonds tightly with the oxygen in water rather than the nitrogen in urea. This new device can be installed on your car, and you just have to pee into it as a replacement for refueling. Pee-powered cars is not quite the same as saying peeing-powered cars. Compare this sentence with one sentence down. And according to Gerardine Bott, we could have pee-powered cars capable of 60 miles per gallon on the road within a year. 3. Urine can be used to make gunpowder. It's hard to believe that humans created gunpowder as a weapon for warfare, as it really just leads to more pollution. Still, as guns became more and more popular in wars, there was an increasing need for gunpowder. Making the gunpowder required the key ingredients of sulfur, potassium nitrate, and charcoal. Gunpowder is made up of 15% charcoal, 10% sulfur, and 75% potassium nitrate. While the early gun enthusiasts would have to do a lot of manual labor to create potassium nitrate, soldiers in the U.S. Civil War needed a much more efficient way of producing it. There was a long process for producing fertilizer from urine, as well as the French and Swiss methods of doing it. One involved mixing manure with urine, ashes, and straw and tended for up to a year, then filtering it through yet more material. Effects of the Swiss method on urine production are still unclear. There is, however, discussion surrounding its probable environmental impact, so it may be better to avoid this method once valid studies have more clearly proven either way. So to add insult to injury, if you were shot in the Civil War, the bullet that hit you had essentially been propelled from a projectile weapon. 2. Injecting frogs with urine can tell you if you're pregnant. It may seem a little unorthodox, maybe even a little crazy, but until the 1960s, there was no reliable method for determining whether or not a woman was pregnant. The only reliable treatment was to take urine from the woman and inject it into female African clawed frogs. In the 1930s, Lancelot Hodgman studied how he could control ovulation in frogs. In the beginning, Scientists had been using mice and rabbits to gather data on ovulation, which was more time-consuming than necessary. With the help of hormones, Hodgkin's work became easier and faster. Previous to the use of an African clawed frog, scientists had been using amphibians that only produced eggs for a few months throughout the year. Scientists were then faced with long periods between experiments and risks of not being able to accurately study their results. This is one of the most interesting experiments in biology currently happening. Frog labs are collecting urine from people across the globe, including these unlucky frogs. It's time to familiarize yourself with urine theory. Here, scientists would inject urine into the dorsal lymph sacs of frogs. If they see ovarian hormones in the urine after 12 hours, it means that she is pregnant and on her way to preterm labor. The Hodgkin test specifically tests for mental visual response and is helpful in categorizing someone's cognition and intellectual level. 1. Urinating on a jellyfish sting will not help it. So you're on a nice day out at the beach with friends, laughing in the sun and frolicking in the water. Then you get stung by one of those pesky, strange, and often scary creatures. A jellyfish. Quick, someone pee on it. May be your first reaction. It is very common for someone stung by a jellyfish to use their urine as a remedy, but this practice is not recommended. In fact, you should probably want to consult with someone else before even considering it. The jellyfish sting is an unpleasant experience, to say the least. Rather than trying ineffective hacks like drinking tons of water, creating your own pee antidote, or brewing up your own liquor store's wares to get rid of it, you might be better off heading to the hospital where doctors can dole out pain relief and remove any other parasites to save you time. Urinating on someone in public is demoralizing, but even in the most unfortunate of circumstances, you can still find relief from the warmth, or perhaps the fact that someone else is nearby.